Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. The video that I'm bringing you tonight, it's something that a lot of people should be interested in, and that people should know about. And it has to deal with the illegal migrant situation that has been hitting many states around the U.S. So much that the Democrats want to say that Donald Trump, okay, is the problem with the border because of some BS border deal that he was able to knock down, even though he's not the president and he hasn't been in office or anything like that. But you know how the Democrats do; they just want to pass the buck. But see, the whole thing, like I keep telling people, with the Democrats, okay, and their shills and people that do their bidding, is that in this day and age of technology, okay, once again, information comes out that they thought was probably, I don't know, lost, okay, for lack of a better term, because I mean, that's the only thing I could think of, that they're that ignorant, okay, and condescending to think that, oh, once we delete this, it's gone. But if anybody knows the internet, nothing is deleted from the internet, okay? You might delete it from a certain platform, you might delete it from a certain browser, you might delete it from somebody's hard drive, but as soon as it's out, it doesn't take long for someone to I don't know, make copies of it, download it, before you delete the original. And in my opinion, I really don't think when it comes to the internet, anything is a copy. If it's an original document, I mean, you can probably, forge one, but when it comes to people's like emails, that's something that's that you really can't wind up forging. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. But we're gonna look at a couple of video clips, okay, that came out less than a week ago, okay, and we are going to just basically do what we do best on this channel, and that is to show everyone that the Democrats do not care about Americans. They only care about the chaos and corruption, making money, and many people, okay, have been hurt and or killed, okay, and hurt in some of the worst ways, okay, and they just don't seem to care, okay. And one of the people behind it, which is probably the one that that should be disqualified from seeking the presidency, is Kamala Harris. And then you can go down the line and start getting people fired and, in all honesty, put in prison. That's probably the best thing that that can come from all this, that people start going to prison. Okay, so I don't want the intro to be too long, but we're going to get right into it so I can show you a couple of clips that came out. One of them you probably have seen. One of them you probably haven't seen because it came out yesterday. It's only about 22 hours old. Came out late last night. It's been a busy week for me, so I'm sorry I haven't put out a video out in a couple of days, and I will get to everybody's comments and replies. So without further ado, we're going to play this first video clip just so everyone could catch up to what's been going on. This was put out 6 days ago, and the title, this was put out by Varney, and it says denies gangs exist. Ex-Aurora attendant says authorities cover up migrant gang takeover. Check this out.
Took over an apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado.
Well, my bad. I'll go back to the beginning. Here we go.
And we have a Tren de Aragua, the violent Venezuelan gang which took over an apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado. One resident, Cindy Romero, is describing what it was like to live there. Watch this.
Every day when we come home, we have to do this. Every time we go outside to take out the garbage, every time we try to go to bed at night, we have to keep it like this so nobody can kick in the door.
Cindy Romero joins me now. Cindy, you were forced out of your apartment by this gang. Please start from the beginning. When did they arrive and what did they do? Take us through it, please.
About a year and a half ago, it started. Busloads and van loads of people would show up at the building. They started one by one taking over the apartments in our building. There were 5 or 6 buildings to our complex, and they had already taken over the one next to ours. As you can see, they were breaking into apartments and kicking in every vacant apartment after they pushed out the legal leaseholders. I was the last leaseholder in my building, and after they had taken over the apartments on my floor, I knew that I wasn't safe, so I had to install cameras.
So have you heard anything from the authorities?
So just so anybody doesn't think otherwise, she said this started about a year and a half ago. Okay, so that means that in late 2022, this is when a lot of this was going, a lot of this started. Okay, this wasn't something that just spurred overnight. I'm sorry, that sprung overnight, like the media, the leftist mainstream media is trying to portray, and is definitely not something where they're just saying, oh, it's just a handful of apartments. You heard what she said. She said the housing complex next to hers, okay, and in hers is about 5 or 6 buildings. So that means they didn't take over just a couple of apartments. They took over a couple of buildings, okay? And you would think that the Colorado authorities, okay, the governor, the mayor, the police department, whoever it is, even the federal government, will come in and say, no, we can't have this. This is not the way it's done, okay? You want to do that in your country, that's one thing. You don't come to America and start kicking out people that hold the lease. And what I really find disgusting about this is that, you know, people go to court all the time against their landlords, okay? Whenever there was a lease agreement that was broken, whenever they want to renew a lease and they need a longer time to stay to pay rent, or whatever the case is. And the government is so quick to kick Americans out, okay? But yet you have illegals come from another country and they come and bogart their way through and kick out people that are legally holding a lease for the apartment, and it's damn crickets from the left. Okay? It's as if they just don't care. And the more anybody says that Donald Trump is an existential threat, okay, to this country, it's like you truly have you haven't drank the Kool-Aid that the left has served you. You have sniffed the Kool-Aid mix. That's how screwed up in the head you are. Because you don't give a flying rat's ass what is going on to Americans. You'll fight for people to squat. You'll fight the system to have people that are just lazy that want to take over somebody's property and squat. But people that legally own or are renting legally, okay, you're not going to stand up. You're not going to stand up for them because it's because of your policies that it's happening to them. Totally disgusting. But let's continue.
Yes, but there's a lot of pushback, and the command leadership in Aurora has denied it and continued to cover it up.
Of course.
And they deny that the gangs even exist or have taken over properties.
But you're out of that apartment complex, I take it.
Yes, I am. I'm now safely away.
And people who stayed there, are they paying their rent to the gang?
Yeah, they're paying their rent to somebody, but it's not the owners. The owners have sent people in to find leaseholders, and having found none, they are trying to, I guess, renegotiate with the current squatters to see if they can come to some kind of agreement for rent.
Is that true of other apartment complexes near the one you vacated?
Oh yes, there are several properties. As I was looking for an apartment, we would actually go to those properties Friday and Saturday nights when the management would be leaving those properties. And it's the same situation. Loud music, unchecked by the police, the same kind of experiences as me are reported by their residents. I had to move quite a distance away to keep from having to deal with it.
What do the other residents of Aurora, it's not that big a town, what do they think of all of this?
Well, I've received a lot of support from the other residents in Aurora, especially ones that have been through similar situations. I encourage everybody to record everything.
Of course.
And get it on film. As many instances as you can, because they are going to deny it and then try to cover it up that it ever happened.
So, where are you living now, may I ask?
It's about 40 minutes away from Aurora.
And it's nothing like the apartment
Unreal.
complex you left?
No, nothing like it. And although it's quiet at night now, my husband and I still can't sleep.
Did you?
You see, that statement she just made right there, that really bothers me. That goes to show you basically, one could say that they're suffering from some sort of PTSD from this. Okay? And it's horrible that in America, after what America has been through, especially, and not trying to knock any specific race or anything like that, but if anybody remembers, like the turn of the 1900, when there was a lot of people coming from different places around the world, and they would set up shop with their gangs, okay, and take over neighborhoods. I mean, come on, let's not bullshit here, okay? It was the Italians, the Irish, the Russian, I mean, you name it, they were coming in, they were setting up shop in different neighborhoods and taking over. And it took a very long time for things to get cleaned up, okay? To get rid of the bad actors. I mean, even though some of them did embed themselves, in my opinion, in society and in high-ranking positions, like the government, okay? The people went through a lot, and here we are, okay, in 2024, where it's like, here we go all over again. And you would think that, not saying that the people that are dealing with this are not standing up, but you would think that the government would say no, especially the left would say, no, you can't do this, because, we are the party of what do they say? Of freedom and peace and equality and all this. But it's like, but what you're doing is that you're letting in a criminal element that are basically doing the same thing and terrorizing people, and you just turn the blind eye, and you have the nerve to come out and say that the person that was in charge of the border is the best thing for this country. No, she's not. She may be the best thing for the countries that are kicking out all their criminals from their prisons and sending them here, but she's definitely not the best thing for this country. Okay? And in all honesty, for that woman to even show her face after so many people have been murdered, never mind the other crimes committed against them, but for that woman to even show her face thinking that, that she's going to be the next best thing when it comes to sliced bread, to like represent this country, I mean, it's diabolical. Okay? I mean, say what you want. I mean, Hillary's wicked, Pelosi's wicked, go down the list. But when it comes to Kamala, look at the damage that she's doing. And there are so many people that support this woman and support Joe Biden and support this regime, and they just don't care about their neighbors getting hurt. They really don't. But let's continue.
Did you get any money as compensation for what you went through?
No compensation. I do have a nice, quiet home that isn't affected by these. At this point, all I want is quiet.
Understandably.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't? And it's horrible that in this day and age, a lot of people don't have the means to get up and move. And even if they do have an income every month, they're collecting a check and they're able to put money to the side, you're not, if you're comfortable where you're at, you're not saving that to move somewhere else. But then you have to go and tap into all that because of policy, because of leftist government policy. And then you have all these leftist shills on social media, on the mainstream media, you name it, trying to call everybody on the right crazy, trying to blame Donald Trump for this. But it's like, it's funny that they're not the ones going through it. I can understand the rich ones. I mean, they don't hang out with the poor folk, okay? But the ones that are out there, struggling just like everybody else, they're just as freaking ignorant and wicked about this because they don't care who gets hurt. They just don't. But it gets better. Okay, this was put out 6 days ago. Now another report came out 3 days ago. Let's get into that, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Here we go. Okay, now before I show you this video, just two quick things. Okay, I just want to thank all my new subscribers and all my subscribers here on YouTube and on Rumble. So don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. And if you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. Also, I'm leaving a link to Loza Alexander's Gifts and Go campaign again. And like I said, I will get to the messages that everybody's been leaving me as soon as I can. The second thing is that not only is what's going on happening in Colorado, it's also happening in a small town in Wisconsin. Okay? And we're going to play this right here. And it's like, you know, how many small towns are the left and the powers that be, are they trying to change the demographics? And more people keep, you know, grieving about it, but Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and the rest of them, they're not doing anything about it but just flooding the country with more and more illegals. Okay? And if you ask me, I mean, I've said it before, a lot of people have been saying it, is basically for two things. It's one, to change the demographics so they can keep their voter base, and two, to basically destroy this country from within, like Donald Trump has been saying. Okay? They're the enemy from within. And that's what they want. And now more people have to suffer. But let's get into this video and stay tuned. Okay, it's not going to be a long video, but like I was saying before about, you know, when people put stuff online and stuff, you know, these Democrats think that, you know, they're untouchable, and once they press delete, everything's gone. But that's not the case. I'll show you right after this video clip. Here we go.
Well, since the start of Joe Biden's presidency, millions of illegal migrants have entered the United States. Some have settled in large metropolitan cities like New York and Los Angeles. However, it is in the smaller towns and cities that experts say are draining resources. Lawmakers got an earful from officials in one small Wisconsin town. Capitol Hill correspondent Eric Rosales has that story.
Good evening, Tracy. Members of the House Judiciary Committee held a field hearing near Whitewater, Wisconsin, a town of some 16,000 that's been overwhelmed by more than 1,000 migrants who've arrived since 2022. Town officials say that they were given no advance warning, and now public services and resources are in crisis.
Now I'm gonna cut it real quick. Now you heard the amount of people in this small town. 16,000. They've already imported 1,000. Reminds you of Springfield, Ohio. It's only about what did they say, 26,000, and they've already brought in, okay, what is it, 10,000, 20,000? Okay, so it's like they're trying to take over all these little towns and just change the demographics. You can't just leave fixed alone. No, you have to go and destroy it. Okay? And that's their goal. That this whole Build Back Better, I mean, so many people say it, so many people know. In order to build back better the way they're saying, you got to destroy what's already good just to rebuild it your way. And if they have their way, it's so that they can have a third world type country that they can control. Let's continue.
Told lawmakers they need federal help.
The city has struggled to deal with the increasing strain on law enforcement resources, housing overcapacity, and the challenges associated with educating children with no formal background in schooling and often lacking basic English skills.
Local law enforcement say they need help too.
If Trump doesn't win this election, we are screwed. That's a quote from one of our sheriffs. Another sheriff. People don't understand how bad it is.
A father from Whitewater who lost his son to fentanyl blames the Biden administration.
Now those were two sheriffs that said that. Okay, I'll replay it again because I think I spoke over him. But we'll listen again to what he has to say. I mean, this is just ridiculous, man. It truly is.
English skills.
Local law enforcement say they need help too.
If Trump doesn't win this election, we are screwed. That's a quote from one of our sheriffs. Another sheriff. People don't understand how bad it is.
A father from Whitewater who lost his son to fentanyl blames the Biden administration.
This epidemic deserves more attention and a response as strong, bold, and determined as other issues have received in recent years. We secure our homes by locking doors and regulating who enters. Our government under the current administration is failing to do the same for our country.
Yep.
No Democrats attended today's field hearing, but in
course
the
not.
past they have defended the Biden-Harris policies, claiming the number of
You know, that is so freaking disgusting that they defend what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris has done. But now that the people are coming out to air their grievances, not one of them will attend the meeting. And yet all you have is all these leftist shills saying that we can't have Trump in office because he's an existential threat to this country. He's going to do this, and this. But meanwhile, you would think that the Democrats in this town will show face, and they won't show face. They won't. They're a miserable, pathetic, evil, wicked bunch. That's why I cannot understand for the life of me, okay, why so many people are adamant that everybody needs to vote Democrat, because if not, the country's going to turn to shit. Well, guess what? It's been turned to shit since Biden stole the election, plain and simple.
of illegal crossings are slowing down. Senate Democrats say it's Republicans who voted against a bipartisan border security bill after former President Donald Trump came out against it.
We gave Republicans a second chance to show where they stand. Do they want to fix this so-called emergency, or do they want to show blind allegiance to the former president, even when they know he's wrong?
It's codifying what President Biden has done to this country, this clear and present danger, and weakening presidential authority. That bill was a disaster. It was dead on arrival. And quite honestly, President Trump, I know he spoke out against it, but he had nothing to do with taking that bill from my standpoint.
There you
Republicans
go. You see? And it's like, that's all they want to do. They want to blame it on Trump. It's like, you can't blame this on Trump. You are the president. You are the vice president. Trump didn't let nobody stop him. Okay? He didn't. And you know what kills me? That Donald Trump, when he had that little that dinner the other day where he was like ranking on Chuck Schumer, I mean, it goes to show you the snake that he is, and now all he's going to do is come and badmouth Trump. Okay? And it's like, what the hell is wrong with you people? You know, you keep saying that it's because of Trump that the bill was killed. Trump has nothing to do with the politics in Washington. He has been out there campaigning, doing rallies, and playing golf. You people are the ones that are in charge. You don't have to listen to him. But they use him as an scapegoat. Why don't they just come out and say the truth? That the reason why the bill was not going to pass was because in the bill, they just want to add more frivolous shit, okay, especially money, to keep funding wars and keep giving to Zelensky in Ukraine, okay? And that's why the Republicans said, no, we're not going to pass this bill. This has nothing to do with Trump. It's just that you can't just do a one-for-one on the bill. Put money to the side, secure the border. Can't do that unless you add this. Well, we're not going to add that. Well, you know what? We'll just say that it's Trump's fault. I mean, that's basically what the hell it comes down to. You know? But I mean, there's more, because there's proof that, especially like in Colorado, okay, that officials knew what was going on and they tried to hide it, and it had nothing to do with Trump. But let's finish this and we'll get into that video. Here we go.
That if Democrats in the Biden-Harris administration really want to fix the open border crisis, all they need to do is reinstate Trump-era border policies, like remain in Mexico, which would force asylum seekers to wait in Mexico for their U.S. immigration hearings. No doubt this is a major issue this election cycle.
Of course it is. And the mainstream media won't talk about this. Matter of fact, this was put up by EWTN Nightly News, I guess, Wisconsin. Okay? But you won't hear the mainstream media talk about this. You just won't. I mean, you got parts, I believe, is North or South Carolina, where is basically taken over by Mexicans, where it's been known that a lot of illegal migrants have been telling others, when you get into the United States, come to that area, because that's where they're all like flocking to. Okay? You got what's going on in Colorado, in Chicago, in New York, in California, in Oregon, in Seattle, in Pennsylvania. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Ohio. And you want to blame all that on Trump. when all you have to do is just round everybody up, slingshot their asses back across the border. The ones that want to come, they'll do it legally. The ones that don't, get rid of them. But they don't want to do any of that. They want the drugs. They want the crime. They want to reset this country. That's what it is they want to do. They don't care about human life, period. They only care about money and power. That's it. But once again, them trying to blame Trump about what's going on. But yet, you know, somebody got a hold of some emails that were passed around in Colorado, made some copies, and put them out. And so here's like one of the real stories about what's going on in Colorado. Here we go. Now this was put out yesterday, okay? And it says right up here, leaked emails reveal Colorado authorities knew about migrant gang threat for nearly a year. But yet, they're over here saying that, no, you know, this is something that just happened. This is Donald Trump's fault. There's nothing we can do about it because we don't have all the details. No, the reason why the buildings are messed up is because the landlords are slumlords. But that's not the case. Once again, that's not the case. So who's to blame now? Let's check it out and see. Here we go.
The alarm with newly leaked emails suggesting people within the Aurora Police Department knew about the migrant gang threat for months. The councilwoman says an internal email went out last November saying, quote, TDA, or Tren de Aragua, has decided to make Denver their headquarters due to sanctuary policies and location. But
did you hear that, people? I'll play it again. And this is the problem that I have with blue cities and states and their sanctuary status. They ruin it for the rest of the country. Okay? There's no secret. I did a video actually a couple of months ago how a lot of illegal migrant gang members, what they do, they'll go to all the sanctuary cities, New York, Colorado, California, Chicago. They'll commit all their crimes. They'll rob people, collect all that money, and then they'll make it to the red states, okay, hide out, spend their money, send their money wherever they're going to go so they don't get busted, and then go back without anything and do it all over again. And some people say, well, why don't they do that in the red states? Because they know that in the red states, the people don't play that, and in the red states, they're pretty much everybody exercises their Second Amendment rights. So not only are they preying on the weak, they're also just a bunch of punks because they know they're going to get their asses handed to them if they try any of this stuff in the red states. And the Democrats know this also. So what do? They leave up their sanctuary status. You know, like Eric Adams is talking about, well, New York is a sanctuary state, but you can cut that. Okay, anybody, any state can get rid of their sanctuary status. They just choose not to. The federal government does not force them to have a sanctuary status. They bring that upon themselves. Okay? And you would think for the betterment of their people, they would say, you know what? This is not working. We're going to kill the sanctuary status, which in my opinion is a bullshit status anyway. Okay? It truly is. There's no reason why you need to coddle to anybody. And also the laws, the squatting laws. I truly believe that all squatting laws, because they serve no damn purpose, I believe that all the squatting laws in the United States need to be abolished. Okay? If there's a problem with a tenant and a landlord, and they got the right paperwork, then they have to go to court. Okay? Every landlord should give their tenant a lease. And if they don't, then that tenant should have the right to go to court and say, I just moved in, this landlord doesn't want to give me a lease. Plain and simple, done. This whole thing about squatting laws and squatter laws, like in New York and everywhere else, where a bunch of lazy ass people just want to go and take over somebody's property, and now you got illegal immigrants doing it. You're going to coddle to them and protect them under sanctuary city laws when all that is just made up bullshit. Okay? It does not serve the betterment of the country. It does not serve the betterment of the people. But yet they want to go and blame it on Trump. Whose fault was this when the Colorado police knew a year in advance why the gangs were going to Colorado? And you would think that the mainstream media would say, you know what? This had nothing to do with Trump killing this so-called bill. Okay? This has to do, in my opinion, with people, even in law enforcement, probably taking a damn cut. I mean, what other reason why would police officials not want to jump on this and get rid of these criminals? Unless it's just for one thing or two things. And that's what the left wants: money and power. But let's play this again. Let's continue.
Internal email went out last November saying, quote, TDA, or Tren de Aragua, has decided to make Denver their headquarters due to sanctuary policies and location. But nearly 1 year later, residents are being forced to leave their homes because of the violence still happening in their town. Former head of ICE's Denver region and Colorado congressional candidate for that district, John Fabricatore, joins us now. John, it's so great to have you on the show. This is infuriating, and I can't imagine if I was one of the residents who was being told that no, TDA is not in Denver, is not in Aurora, is not in Colorado, and finding out that there were emails and the cops knew. Your reaction?
Yeah, good morning, Rachel. It's an absolute mess. Danielle Jerminski, the councilwoman here, she's been raising the alarm on this for about 2 or 3 months. Those of us like myself who have also been talking about this have been saying that Tren de Aragua was here, and leaders inside the community, the mayor, the city manager, the Aurora City Police Department leadership has denied it. And now these emails come out, and we're beginning to see exactly what they knew, at least for a year.
Yeah, they're not the only ones who
So that means they're all denying it. And the mainstream media is going along with it, saying, no, that's not true. These are stories, these are lies made up by Trump. The mayor and everybody else in Colorado saying, no, that's not true. This is stuff that's made up by Trump. But like I keep saying about the Democrats, okay? And I've said it before, and I'll keep saying it. They contradict themselves, and they eat themselves. Now this email is out, or emails are coming out. They're showing proof that, you know what? No. The mayor knew about it. The police officials knew about it. Everybody and their mother knew about it. This has nothing to do with Trump making up these accusations. This has nothing to do with slumlords that they're talking about that own these buildings. This has everything to do with the Biden and Harris administration, the powers that be, letting illegal migrant criminals into the country, spreading them around different states, knowing very well who's coming in, and then hiding that fact and making everybody's lives miserable. Why? Why? Because they're hung up on a freaking demonic agenda to just ruin people's lives. They're evil and they're wicked. To hell with the politics, to hell with your job. You knew about this, and you want to go and point the finger to someone else. I'm telling you right now, man, Donald Trump cannot get into the White House any faster and start this massive deportation campaign. Let's continue.
The federal government knew, DHS knew. I've been talking all the time about Congressman Troy Nehls, who wrote a letter to Alejandro Mayorkas from Homeland Security, over 2.5 years ago, saying, hey, you guys know that these prisons are being, these prisons are releasing prisoners who are in TDA, and you're telling the Border Patrol, hey, look out for these guys, but you're not telling citizens that you know this is happening while the border is open.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of cool.
But yet, check this out. I don't mean to cut it off so quick. It's only a short video. But yet, excuse me, they can crack down on social media, like Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris and the rest of them, Joy Reid, whoever, saying that, you know what? On all the social media platforms, you are required to make sure that no disinformation, misinformation is being spread. We got to put a lock on it. We got to make sure that nobody is spreading disinformation. are spreading this information. Here they are hiding the truth. But yet let an American do something and they always say, if you see something, say something. But now they know that's something and they say nothing to the citizens. And they don't care because they got all the security. They're protected. They make all the money. They go to their glass houses on the hill. Meanwhile, innocent people, men, women, and children are being murdered and or raped or killed or put on drugs or prostituted or whatever the hell the case is. And not only, okay, is this corrupt government involved, it also goes straight down to police departments. And people wonder why so many people have a problem with police departments. And it's not that all police departments are like this, but it's just that, you know, you have some cops, you have many cops out there that are trying to do the right thing, and then you have the crooked ones in cahoots with a corrupt, crooked leftist regime and putting people's lives at risk instead of doing their damn job, which is to uphold the law and to protect the citizens of your of whatever state or county or city that you're in. But no, they want to get in on the action too and keep it quiet, and then at the end when they get busted probably come out and say, I was doing my job. That your job was to first to secure, okay, American citizens. Your job was to uphold the laws of the Constitution, of the oath that you took when you became a cop, a politician, a leading figurehead. Once you broke that, you became a traitor to this country. You need to go to prison. People need to go to prison. That's it. Plain and simple. And I'm not talking just about the criminals that have come here. I'm talking about these people that are in power. The judges, the governors, the mayors, police officials, all of them. They need to be held accountable and go to damn prison.
Culpability to go around. So what was your reaction, for example, when you heard Martha Raddatz, when she was interviewing J.D. Vance saying, well, it's only a few apartment buildings?
You know, it was ridiculous to me because there should be 0 apartment buildings. We should have no Venezuelan gang members in the United States right now. And like you were mentioning, the vetting is horrible. We don't share criminal information with Venezuela. The Border Patrol is simply doing an NCIC check. They're not coming up with any criminal history on these guys, and they're simply letting them into the U.S. And now we see exactly what's happening here in Aurora, Colorado, where these guys are extorting people, they're kidnapping. They just cut the fingers off of a man here in Aurora in an extortion attempt. So, you know, we have to put our foot down on this because this gang needs to be stopped now before they get even stronger.
Yeah, and they're also heading up all kinds of sex trafficking, including child sex trafficking, and they're the ringleaders on that as well. It's really great to have you on, John. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for sounding the alarm on it, and hopefully someone like you will get a leadership position to put an end to it. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good.
Unbelievable. You know, I mean, they're just bringing their third world tactics here, and this leftist regime just they don't care. They don't care. You know, and instead of putting their foot down and just doing it the right way, saying, you know what, listen, we're willing to take in some extra citizens and put them to work. We need their criminal records. We don't want the criminals. No. They don't care. They're just like, well, they won't give it to us. Then if they won't give it to you, why in the hell are you letting people in? And then you're going to spin it around and try to blame it on a man that has not been in the White House in 4 years. Good Lord. You know, the more this information comes out, it's no wonder why they're losing. And this is why I keep telling everybody, get out there and vote. Vote red. Vote these Democrats out of everything. Just vote them out. Vote them out of the school system, out of the government, out of your communities. Just vote them the hell out, man. Stop being so damn ignorant. thinking that, you know what, they're going to make things better. I don't care who you are. You cannot tell me whether you're on the left or, I shouldn't say the right, just on the left or in between or liberal. How do you not listen to these stories, even if you wanted to listen to them? But if you listen to these stories and you know what's going on, why do you insist, okay, that this way is better? Why do you insist that the people that don't agree with this are the problem? Like I said, Donald Trump could not get into the White House any faster. Okay? Because this just has to stop. And I know that there's a lot of laws when it comes to firing judges or whatever the hell the case is, which in my opinion, I'm against it. I think that everybody needs to be held accountable, okay? But these people, I mean, this is so big. This is so big that, I mean, it's got to be a nationwide coordinated effort for the ones that are in charge, that care and want to do something, to get together and just go after all these corrupt officials. I just imagine how they'd have to start building new prison systems. They would, because, I mean, just for that part, never mind the ones coming in from other countries, never mind the ones born and raised here. We're talking just for political officials, people in charge, okay, cops or whatever have you. They will have to build a whole new prison system just for that. The way I see it. And in all honesty, it's probably not a bad idea. I mean, because what are they going to do? Give them a slap on the wrist? Let them get away with that immunity that they keep talking about? Meanwhile, you know, young girls are being raped or murdered or put into prostitution. Little kids are being killed. Grown people are being killed, robbed. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And these gangs are out there thriving, and they're making it seem like we're taking over. And it's just like, really? People, get out there and vote. Okay? Get out there and vote. Because all is not lost. But the longer everybody stands by and stays complacent, if you're on the fence, if you're on the fence and you don't know who to vote for as far as president, I get it. But if you know for a fact your family, your friends are in a certain community that are dealing with something like this, that right there alone should give you the inspiration to say, you know what, I'm not voting for this crap anymore. I'm just not. And if you could sit back and let your family and friends, even a total stranger, your neighbor that you really don't know, but go through something like this, then that means you are part of the problem. You're part of the problem. Plain and simple. But anyway, that's what I got for you. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. And if you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. And again, I'll be leaving a link to Loza Alexander's Gifts and Go campaign. Also, I know that it's Sunday. I hope I get a bunch of views on this. The views have been showing up good. So don't forget, people, give it a thumbs up, pass it around, let everyone know. We've only got a little over a week, 8-9 days left. Get out there and vote, okay? Don't forget the small votes in your community. They count, okay? Do your research, find out who's who, okay? And especially with the school boards, that's another thing that, you know, people need to, like, really get up and speak about, to start getting rid of the school boards, to clean up the Board of Education. I mean, Donald Trump said he wants to abolish it. I agree 100%. I think he should. Okay, I truly, truly think he should. But let's see what happens with that. So remember, people, stay vigilant. Keep praying for each other. Keep praying for the women and the children. Pray for this country. Pray for your enemies. Pray for Donald Trump. And again, don't forget to get out there and vote. Peace.